Hey everybody, what's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again. Big shout outs to the customers of the AfricanSuperstar.com. Guys, I'm wearing one of the exclusive African Superstar X Ghana jackets, as you can see. Hello, one and only. Look at the details, look at the colors. Yes, yes. Go over to the website, get yours today. Hello. Also, big shout outs to our members only who support this platform on a monthly basis. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. And last but not least, all of the lovers of the African Superstar Music Project. I have seen some of you guys throughout my tour here in London. And we have two more dates. I have a show next week on the 29th in Waltham's Cross, and then I will be participating in the African Festival in Luton on the 5th of August before wrapping up the tour and heading back to Ghana. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Today I want to talk about a topic that I don't normally talk about, but obviously may pertain to some of my audience. So I want to talk about this topic, which is if you make it to safety, do not turn back. So actually, if we talk about this topic specifically, it can be related in so many ways depending on what your connotation is. I have recently been watching these crime shows. Anybody who knows me, and definitely anybody who's been on the channel knows that I watch a lot of crime programs. And I'm always just trying to kind of deduce signs and signals of dangerous individuals, you know, and basically just prevention of being in those situations. One theme that is prevalent is a lot of times people that want to harm you, people that don't wish you well, will begin to exhibit strange behavior. They may make threats to you. They may actually even display some of that behavior or whatever. And one theme that I see again that's prevalent is people not necessarily taking that serious, making excuses for individuals, trying to reconcile with individuals, trying to forgive individuals, and things like that. In the context of domestic violence, I know that it's very difficult for people that may be involved in those situations. A lot of times, it might be your spouse, it might be family members who are being violent or threatening towards you. You may have your children involved. You may live with these individuals, and therefore, the concept of getting away, maybe you feel like, how am I going to manage, or it's difficult, or it's not possible. But I just have to say, when you get away from a dangerous situation, this could also be parallel to some of you guys, the situations that you're experiencing in the diaspora. I know that, for instance, when I'm in England or America, my mental state fluctuates a lot. I see that I'm a lot more moody, I'm a lot more down, I'm a lot more stressed, things like that. And although I'm here basically on a business premise and things like that, when you get away from danger, whatever that may be, whenever you get away from pretentious situations, do not turn back. You have to always reference why you need to leave these various situations. Okay. And there will be times that, more specifically, what I've been watching is these stories about the Pakistani community. Big shout out to the family. Do we have anybody here? Hello? Let me see how many people we got in the chat room. 5 of you, and yet no one has said hello. Hello? Anybody there? Anybody there? I've taken time out to come talk about this serious topic. Big shout outs to the family. Guys, if you're here, come on. You know the protocol. Just at least say hello, like the stream, do something. Okay? This could actually help somebody. I hope it does. Thank you. Big shout outs to the family. Coach Dennis, thank you so much for greeting me. Big shout outs to you, man. Thanks for being here today. Um, so I've been watching these videos about the Pakistani commercial community, and I don't have any, you know, Indian, Asian, Chinese friends. I don't know a lot in depth about their culture. I do know that women do not necessarily have like the same liberal. What's up, Kimla? I see you there. Big shout out to the family. Um, they're, you know, they don't necessarily have the liberal situation that women experience in the West. Their families are very, very powerful and have a lot of control and say so in their lives. And sometimes the parents threaten these girls. You know, what's been coming up on my feed, obviously you watch one of these programs and then like several programs come up. So what's been coming up on my feed is a term called honor killing. If you guys know anything about the Asian community, you know, the Middle Eastern, whatever, Southeast Asian, blah, blah, blah. They have a concept which is called honor killing, which is basically if a female is disobedient to her family, or she doesn't marry who they want her to marry, or she's living her life in a way they don't approve, family members can actually kill her to try to restore the honor that she has diminished from the family. And it's very, very serious in our community. It happens very frequently. Even here in the UK, it happens a lot. And definitely in their, you know, indigenous homelands, Iran, you know, Turkey, Pakistan, all these kind of places, India, you know, it happens. Sometimes the parents have threatened these girls. You know, if the girls manage to get away, if the girls manage to flee, go to shelters, move to different countries, whatever, seek asylum, the parents will be threatening these children, you know, their daughters or female family members as to what they're going to do. And on several occasions, the girls have, although they have escaped, they go back to their family. They go back to their homeland. When it has to do with domestic violence, people will go back to their abuser, you know, and obviously they meet their fate, you know, and you have to understand the, you know, I would say in 2023, my rule of thumb in dealing with people is take them at their word. If people are threatening you, if people are abusive to you, if people are degrading or insulting, take them, take it. Take it like it's a legitimate threat. Take it like it could be life or death, because in this day and age, more often than not, people are not playing with you. You know, you may embellish the relationship from your side. Oh, they would never do that to me. Oh, that's my best friend. Oh, that's my husband. Oh, that's my dad. Oh, that's, you know, we go way back from your perspective. From their perspective, they're very serious about the things they're saying. And if you want to take it into the biblical context, you know, there's a saying that, you know, what is it? Thoughts become words, words become actions. So if you want to look at it in that context, then by the time people are verbalizing these things to you, they've already been thought about. The next stage is actions. Sometimes people will abandon you. If anybody in the room has had any kind of abandoning in their life, let me see a number one. Big shout outs to the family, guys. You had any abandoning, you know, you've had relationships, people have left you, you've got friendships that have come to abrupt ends, maybe even situations in your family, your siblings, or a parent, you know, just cuts you off, just leaves you, just stops affiliating with you. In many cases, especially if you're close to that person, you want to reach out to that person, you'll want to resolve it, you know, find out what is going on. But in some cases, you've just got to understand this is for the best, that these people are not in my environment, because quite frankly, the majority of crimes are always committed by people that you know. People that you know you, they know your routine, they know your whereabouts, they know your secrets, they know your details. They have oftentimes motive and accessibility to do these things to you. You know, now if you live in America, random crime is rampant. Indeed, but still, 9 times out of 10, these things are, you know, delegated by people that you know. And that's why I just want to make this message. Obviously, I know that, it may pertain to people in my audience. The reality is everybody's dealing with various things. I would say if you find this message, you know that this is not my normal topic on this channel, then I would say that this message is definitely for you. That it's not a coincidence that you have found this message. When you reach safety, okay, do not play with it. Sometimes you get a false sense of, the danger has dissipated. Okay. So you feel more comfortable to maybe revisit the situation. Big shout out to the family. Okay, so I see two people in the chat room. I see 8 altogether, 10 altogether. Hello. All right. So I want to tell you guys a story pertaining to this, and I'll be wrapping up. If you want to hear a story, let me see a number 2. I need y'all to get involved. Hello. Hello. And big shout out to the African Superstar family. Plug. Have you yet got your STAR EP? Have you guys got your STAR EP? Your girl's doing a lot of stuff. I just have to say, okay? I just have to say, I'm doing a lot of stuff. That is why, realistically, YouTube is kind of taking a back seat because I'm on music tour. That in itself has a lot of moving parts, okay? In the UK currently, we just wrapped up the nomination for South Africa. It's looking, unofficially, I'm the winner. I haven't heard the confirmation from them, but unofficially, I'm the winner. And now we have been nominated for a 3rd award of the year, which is from Paris. And that is going to take place the 16th of September. That's for the best Afro rapper of the year. Hello, shout outs to Ghana's Good For Me, Come Chill With Me, Liar 2022, all the tracks in which I've done rapping. Got me nominated for this next award. So that is on. The GoFundMe is still open because we did not reach anywhere close to the goals for South Africa. So, unless there's a dramatic turnaround in the next, I'd say, couple weeks, I won't even be able to go to South Africa and pick it up. Paris is a lot more feasible because obviously it's Europe and it's easier for me to travel to Europe. African travel is very expensive. So that's where we are currently as far as the endeavors of the music. The tour is going very well. I'm meeting a lot of people. They love the music. I met up with some pretty prominent people at my show last week. I did see some of the African Superstar music fans out there. Big shout out to you guys if you came to Bedford to see me live. I was all decked out in my kente. Hey, yes. Okay, so I want to tell you guys a story about a friend of mine that this became his fate. So big shout outs to a man that I used to date when I lived in Cincinnati. His name is Mel. Okay. So Mel came to Cincinnati. He was from New York. And, if you're from Ohio or from the Midwest, New Yorkers, East Coast people can be so exciting. So I remember Mel came, by this time in Cincinnati, I was in university, so I was doing my thing. This was around 2000. I think I met him like 2005, 2006. I remember at the time I was working for Delta Airlines. I used to work for Delta as a reservationist in Cincinnati. So I was on the phone setting up, plane tickets and all that. So anyway, I met Mel at a nightclub. And he was just so exciting. He was, good looking, a lot of fun. I mean, he's just so hilarious. You know what I mean? So charismatic. And so after we were talking for a while, I kind of asked him, I said, so what brings you to Ohio? What brings you here? And he was saying that he had some run-ins where he was from in, I believe it might have been around New Jersey. I can't remember exactly where it was, but that area is kind of like the tri-state, all them places, Maryland, Connecticut, blah, 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 DC. So he told me that he had some run-ins. Basically, he had scammed some dudes, or business deal gone bad, or whatever the case may be, and these dudes, had put a hit out on him, basically. And so he kind of left that area and came to Ohio so he could just chill out. But he was always talking about how he missed New York and he misses, the East Coast and blah, blah, blah. And Ohio's so slow and all this kind of stuff. So he had a good friend that lived in Cincinnati who was, kind of hosting him while he was there. And the guy's name was Juan. So Juan was telling Mel, like, man, you need to chill out, like just settle in Ohio, but Mel, the streets was calling him. He just kept wanting to go back. He just kept wanting to go back. He just kept wanting to go back. So one day he decides he's going to go up there for a visit. And, him and I, we didn't talk regularly. We talked here and there, and so a little bit of time went by and I didn't hear from him, but I didn't think about it. So apparently he had went there. I didn't hear from him for a few months. All of a sudden his boy Juan calls me and he's like, Gina, Mel's been shot. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, he went up to New Jersey and he went to some nightclub and some dude seen him and shot him with a shotgun. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He's like, that's why, you haven't heard from him and stuff. And I was like, oh, he's off and on anyway. So I didn't really know, but I did think it was strange that it had been, several weeks. So he proceeds to show me pictures of Mel, in the hospital bed. He was, I believe he was in a coma. He was in a coma for a really long time. I don't think he ever came back, after the incident. But I mean, he was a big dude, you know what I'm saying? He was very big. He was probably maybe 250, 260 pounds, maybe about 6'2". He was a big dude, like thick, big. And he had a lot of hair. He used to wear his hair braids and all kind of styles. And I remember seeing the picture and, they had shaved his head because he had got shot in the head or around, the head or whatever. They had to take off all his hair. He had lost so much weight, obviously, being in the hospital. He had tubes all over him, and I was just like, damn. And Juan was really upset. He's like, I kept telling him not to go. I kept telling him not to go. And it was really tragic. And I mean, eventually, they had to take him off the life supports and he died. And he was 32 years old when all that happened. And he's actually the first person that I personally knew that was basically a victim of gun violence, like a personal friend. Obviously, we hear about it on the news and we see it and all that. But in my circles, he was the first person. And I tell you guys to say all of this, you have to sometimes restrict yourself from those situations. You will think after a while, okay, maybe the danger is not as imminent, or if it has to do with maybe your family, like as far as these Pakistani families, from what I see, they will sometimes lure their daughter back. One of the girls had fled her family here in the UK and had moved to Dubai with the husband that she chose, that her parents didn't approve. She was living in Dubai for like about 3 years. Her and the husband were happy. She still periodically would talk to her family and they kept still telling her they didn't approve of the marriage and all of this. So what ended up happening was a family relative died in Pakistan and they were having a funeral. And her husband told her, like, I don't think you should go because I know your parents are still not happy about our marriage. And in Pakistan, if you're prominent or you have money or you're a man, you can just do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to get involved. So the husband was concerned and he was, trying to talk her out of it. And she was like, no, I really want to see my dad because she was a daddy's girl and she missed him and this and that. But the dad has steadily been threatening her. She goes to Pakistan, 6 days later, she's dead. You see, and that had been 3 years later. You see, in the case of Mel, my friend, it had been probably maybe around that time, maybe about 2 or 3 years that he had moved from the East Coast to Ohio, but he couldn't not resist going back. And even us that are diasporians, we have moved. In my case, we have moved for safety related reasons, for racism, for police brutality. When you get into a safe environment, don't let time fool you into thinking that the danger is not as imminent as it is. Okay? The danger is imminent. If you are someone who is politically, you know, dealing with threats or whatever, you definitely don't want to play with political government, these kind of things. If you manage to get away to safety, guys, do not go back. If you are involved in domestic violence and your partner is, trying to persuade you, oh, baby, I've changed. I'm sorry. I'm a better woman now. I'm a better man. Because I do recognize men experience domestic violence as well. These people can be very coercive. They can be very manipulative. But I'm telling you, if you have managed to get to safety, always, 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 always reference the reason why you felt that you needed to get to safety. Big shout outs to the family. Holla. I see you with that super chat. Antoinette, okay, always can count on you. Big shout outs to the family. We got 17 of you guys here. Hello. It's time to do shout outs. If you are here, make your presence be known. Today I'm talking about a topic I don't typically address, but something has put it on my mind to speak about. I'd say the ancestors have put it on my mind to speak about this. I realize that some people, you get into a cycle, and definitely, like, for instance, like Black Americans have gotten into a cycle of the abuse that they receive. And I saw a video. I'm going to actually do another video about it. I saw a video on TikTok where there was a social experiment that happened. And basically, there were two blind men, and they were kind of walking through the crowds of people, and they were bumping into people. And when the Black blind man bumped into the people, which were all overwhelmingly white, they kind of pushed him away. So a couple of them wiped off their skin, like they didn't want to be touched by the blind man. They were very rude. They were not helpful. And when it was the white blind man, everybody made accommodations for them. And then, people took him by the arm and they helped him, and they were more kind and they were more understanding. The point is that we receive this regular abuse, okay? And we have normalized it. We have, in some cases, justified the way that we're treated. And we have not rebelled in regards to not being in their environments, not being in their world, not being in their spaces, not being an asset to them. That, in my opinion, is the way to deal with it, because at that point, that's when your abuser suffers. When they no longer have access to you, that's how they suffer. Okay. Any other thing, they can still capitalize and benefit. And this is a very serious topic, and I feel that since the ancestors told me to talk about it, that it's going to resonate with some of you guys, because it's not just domestic violence. It's racism. It's the psychological damage. It's, the toxicity that we live in and we have normalized, and we don't deserve that. I know for sure I didn't deserve it, which is why I couldn't take it. You know what I mean? I couldn't personally take it, but I know some people struggle and wrestle with, asserting themselves. And so we're going to talk about it today. Big shout outs to the family. Hello. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and do shout outs. So we have Coach Donnie. He's the first one in the building. We have Kimla with us. Black Messiah, big shout outs to you. Thank you for answering the trivia question, which was, do you want to hear my story? And And I just told you guys the story. What's up, Lady Visionary? Thank you for stopping by. We have Antoinette showing love with the super chats. Please do that. Do that. Do that. Big shout outs to Antoinette. We Out says, I can't wait to leave this abusive country. And send a super chat. Big shout outs to We Out on that. My only issue is whether my mate will be ready. Listen, I mean, this is going to be callous. This is going to be cold. Maybe. But you cannot take everybody with you. You know, that's the reality. You cannot take everybody with you. Going a bit further into that is it might be your spouse, it might be a family member, a parent, maybe your kids. You know, you feel very bound because of that. Ask yourself the question. Okay. Me asking this question has helped me simplify so many relationships. Is it a reciprocal sacrifice? Would it be a reciprocal sacrifice? Because a lot of times people that are dedicated to other people, people would not make the same sacrifice for you. You know, if your only reason for instance, sticking around in America is the fact that, you know, your partner or whatever, your adult children, your parents or whomever, whatever, your job, your dog, whatever excuses, because y'all be having a lot of excuses about why you got to do what you got to do, your car. If that entity would never make the reciprocal, if the shoe is on the other foot, that entity will go ahead and do what they want to do, then I'm sorry. You know, you're unwise in making that decision because, for instance, if we want to talk about America specifically, America is a very dangerous place, especially for our people. We have an even higher risk of being involved in nonsense because of the racism factor. Okay, America is just violent in its own context. Okay, with everything happening, the road rage, the mass shootings, you know, and all of that stuff. It's very dangerous just in general for the average American. Add in the fact that you are a Black American or a minority or something like that. And it's a matter of safety. You know, it's a matter of the psychological damage that you are subjecting yourself or your children to. It's the heightened risk of being involved in things. It's the fear that you got to deal with on an everyday basis. You're making that sacrifice based on someone else's desires or whatever. Would they make that same thing for you? You know, when I have to ask myself those questions about some of the relationships that I have, some of the friendships that I have, and I can deduce, I can actually know, no, they would not do the same thing for me. They would not go out of their way for me. They would not reciprocate. They would not do this. They would not do that. They would not sacrifice. They would not, you know, then I know how to deal with those things. You know, so don't let somebody who wouldn't make the same level of sacrifice for you cause you to be stuck into a dangerous situation, a situation you don't want to be in. That's just real talk, you know, and sometimes you just have to conclude certain relationships. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to go get divorces tomorrow, abandon your kids or whatever. You know, always try to reason. But at the end of the day, when it comes to safety, then safety is not something you can compromise. You can compromise on the size of the house. You can compromise on the destination of vacation or holidays. You can compromise on, you know, whatever, certain things. But safety is not one of them things. Racism is not one of those things. Black people tolerate a lot of nonsense that they shouldn't. And that's why it's been going on for centuries. Because if we get dramatic with them and say, hey, we're not putting up with this anymore. You're not going to just mistreat us and just ruin our whole lives and futures, we're going to take action, and do something else. Then this will stop, or at least we'll be in a better position. But as long as we pacify it because we don't want to deal with it, then we're going to continue to be disrespected. Big shout outs to We Out. Look, I had to talk on that for a minute. Hello, I hope you heard me. Big shout outs to the family. The Hawk says we need to leave the U.S. in droves, and Africa needs to assist in making it easier. Go Taste and See is in the building. Yes. So this is the topic tonight. Okay. The topic is when you get away from danger, when you get away from that abuser. Okay. And you can think of it literally or figuratively, whatever you want to do. Going back is unwise. They will try to seduce you back. If you're a diasporan and you go to America, you go to Africa, you're living in Africa, your family starts saying, oh, we really miss you being here. You miss so-and-so's wedding, blah, 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 blah. If you could just come over here, why don't you just come over here and just work for a little bit? Why don't you just do this and that, do this and that? Okay. Please reflect. Big shout outs to the diasporans who have done it already. Please reflect on the struggle that it took for you to get out in the first place. Please reflect on the big cost that you paid. Hello. For those of you guys that moved, you shipped your things, you shipped your car, you got containers, you sold your house, you liquidated your apartment, you sold goods, you worked extra hours, you did a lot of things, whatever, to get yourself in a position to get out of the West, because the West is a very consuming environment. It has its claws in you when you are in the heart of it, working and living there. So it's very difficult to get those things out of you so that you can have the freedom to do other things. There's so many illustrations of people going back to abusers and meeting tragic ends. You know what I mean? There's so many examples. All you got to do is look around. But I just want to tell my audience specifically, use great wisdom when thinking about these things. If it's a direct threat in terms of someone saying they want to harm you, okay, they want to kill you, they want to do this, they make threats, I'm going to poison you, I'm going to do these kind of things. Those kind of threats, don't think twice. Do not disillusion yourself that they are joking with you, okay, that they're playing. Take those kind of those threats as very serious and do the necessary. And as you get your freedom from those situations, do not look back. Do not start divulging information to these people. Do not play with it. Do not play with it, guys. This is serious. I don't play with people. See, when I can get a sense of how they feel or what they say or what they do, sometimes people make little, the little snide comments, the little sarcasms and stuff like that. They mean what they're saying, guys. They mean what they're saying, and sometimes you will miss your relationships with those individuals, but you just have to remember, it's better for them not to be around me than for me to be close to them while they're making me stretch or they have ill will for me. So that's my thoughts today. Big shout outs to everybody who was in the chat room. Hello. Big shout outs also to our super chat donors. That's going to the GoFundMe. We got a lot coming up. We got South Africa. We got Paris to go collect these awards. Yes. Please, if you have not got the EP, please go get the EP. People is loving my jams out here in London. Okay. I've had people come up to me after the shows. Can I get your picture? Can I get your social media? Can I get your, listen, don't be a member of the family and be the last to know that I'm killing it out here. Hello. Big shout outs to the family in the building. Yes. So when you get to safety, okay, continue to maintain the safety. Okay. Don't think that time maybe has quelled it. You know, and it's easy to do. After a while, you think, okay, you know, it's over. It's not that, these kind of individuals, first of all, people that would make threats and all that stuff to you, a lot of times they're very controlling and they're very resentful and they probably be stewing on it. They be stewing, they be plotting. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that person back. I'm gonna get them, so don't start entertaining them after a while, thinking that, because you will have a love for them, you will have a fondness for them that makes you wanna, or in some cases you guys have children together. So, just do the necessary. If you feel unsafe around that person, if you gotta interact with them in regards like you have business with them, they're family members, you have kids, don't hesitate to maybe get security to go with you. Get a family member or friend to accompany you if you have to go there, drop your kids off, if you guys have a meet, if you feel uncomfortable, do the necessary. Do not take a necessary risk. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. We live in a day and age where people are not sound. You got to think for them in many cases. You got to overcompensate for a lot of people in many cases because they're unpredictable, and it's better to say, hey, I'm getting this. And also if you're getting the feeling, okay, if you're getting the feeling that something's off, something's weird, something's bad, something's ominous, please, 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 please listen to the feeling. Okay. Listen to the sensation and obey it because again, it's better to be, when you got up this morning, you went out to work, you didn't have that feeling. Okay. When you got in the shower, when you went to the gym, got your hair done, got your barber shop, you didn't have this ominous feeling. Why are you having this ominous feeling all of a sudden? Pay attention to it. It's telling you to be careful. It's telling you to avoid. It's telling you not to do something. All right, guys. So that is it for today. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Again, guys, hey, if you are still here and if you are here in the UK, I still have 2 more dates, okay, that you can come see me. They're not my full shows, but I will be there. You guys missed the actual album release, and that was July the 8th. Special shout outs to Royal Hills International, Promulgate Media, also my manager, Mr. Cyril Stark, everybody working hard. We are currently on national TV, Beach Chill, the music video. Yes, my most recent music video and the first single from STAREP is currently national TV in Ghana. Yes. Shout outs to the DGN, the Daily Guide Network, for airing Beach Chill. I just got notified a couple days ago that I made the jam of the week. Hello. So Beach Chill is now showing in Ghana. So if you guys are in Ghana and you have the DGN Music Network with Prudent, go on and tune in. You're going to see Beach Chill on your television screens. Hello. Hello. Say going places. Yes. 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 We are definitely on the upward movement. And that is the whole point of this tour. And that is the whole point of what I'm doing. Okay. Because I'm not trying to be stationary. I'm trying to go moving on up. All right, family. Well, big shout outs to the African Superstar family, everybody in the chat room. Special shout outs to our super chat donors, Miss Antoinette Forbes, and we out. Yes. Make sure you guys, we are still moving forward with the votes for Paris and the GoFundMe. We want to go ahead and let's just go ahead and do a sweep this year. Get the 3rd award. Hello. Get the 3rd award, and then we've done it hard for 2023. I think it's pretty impressive as an independent artist to sweep it with three awards. You know what I mean? So those details are on the community tab. As for members only, I did post a video for you guys last week. That's on the community tab as well. If you guys are interested to get the EP, you need to get the EP. Add us to your streaming sites. Spotify, Audiomack, Boomplay, Tidal, Amazon, whatever streaming app you listen to music, iTunes, you can add the African Superstar and put us there. That way you'll be notified of new music. Okay? All right, family, it's been real. Until we meet again, stay black and true. We're going to close out with a little bit of Beach Chill. One and only, I'm back again. African Superstar on the track. It's the weekend, and ain't no place I'd rather be than here with you, and you here with me. Yeah. 3AB got the sauce, boy. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. Yes, so that is Beach Chill, guys. If you have not yet seen the official music video, it's right here on YouTube. So make sure you add Beach Chill to all your streams and make sure you check out the official music video. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just